This is big news. President Trump just signed an executive order banning the use of paper straws in government and vowing to bring back plastic straws. Yep, sadly, just after he signed it, the order immediately started to disintegrate.
I think they've given up on trying. That they don't even try anymore. That's a late night failure. Democrats are failing at absolutely everything, aren't they? They're losing every game, every battle. Somehow, at this point, I'm thinking the Kansas City Chiefs must be Democrats. The way that they lost the Super Bowl, they've got to be Democrats. Part of a trend. Losers. A great many of them cross-dressing losers. They really love cross-dressing. Now, some of them, they steal women's luggage from airport carousels. Sam Brinton, for example, shaved head, goatee, prancing around in women's clothing that he stole from airports. Joe Biden's head of nuclear waste at the Department of Energy. Where is he now, anyway? Democrats call him she because they forgot about biology. Crazy, crazy times. Well, good Thursday to you, and welcome back once again. We continue to be reachable at 888-630-9625. And today I was up extra early. Not extra early, but 4:45. I was 4:45 a.m. And my best girl and I, we were talking pretty quick right after that. And gathering, and last night too, we've got confirmation of vote today, an actual confirmation vote today. Got a confirmation hearing today. The vote should be for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The Democrats are trying to assassinate his character, and he's a member of the Democrat Kennedy family. They'll lynch anybody. Tulsi Gabbard, 8-year Democrat member of the House of Representatives, coming into the Trump administration, and the Democrats couldn't wait to just brutalize and slander and malign, call her a Russian asset, a Russian agent, all that crazy stuff. That's back when she was a Democrat, too, and she gave up on this loony bin called the Democrat Party, came over to the light side, the bright side, the side of truth, justice, and the American way. There's a dimwit Democrat member of the House of Representatives. Did you see this guy? He took his oath of office on a Superman comic book. He couldn't have done that if their slogan were still truth, justice, and the American way. But the Democrats running the Superman, who's that, Marvel or DC? That's DC. They decided to take the American way off of the Superman thing. It's no longer truth, justice, and the American way. I think now it's truth, justice, and whatever. Whatever. Something like that. And we're hoping also, in addition to the hearing today for Linda McMahon, Department of Education, not doing a great job, the Department of Education, have not been doing a great job for a very long time. And the vote to confirm or not confirm Robert F. Kennedy Jr. looks like he will be confirmed. Linda McMahon, who comes from the wrestling, pro wrestling world, and it's a giant business, of course, and she is a big-time businesswoman, and she is looking at a hearing today. Kash Patel for FBI. The Democrats are really terrified by this because they've been abusing the hell out of federal law enforcement agencies and intelligence agencies. They politicized them. They corrupted them. They corrupted the hell out of the FBI and the intelligence community with, penitentiary face Brennan and that felonious 51 letter that lied to all of us out here in America on the lead up to Election Day in order to corrupt the presidential election because the left is very corrupt. And make no mistake, the Democrat Party, they're not liberals. They're the left, and they are not on our side. Boy, are they not on our side. Not at all. So we've got good stuff going on in the Department of Education where because they're doing such a terrible job, the case is being made that we should do away with this worse than useless federal department, the Department of Education, since they came online as a federal department. Our test scores have gone down. Our standards for education have gone down. The unions run by these commie lunatics have taken over education in the United States so that the left can abuse the hell out of it. And I saw another school teacher arrested, another child sex sting because Democrats, police only said that the school teacher arrested, part of a ring of 7 creepy child molesters, is a Democrat. That's all they could say. Also, the new Attorney General, Pam Bondi, I should mention that it looks like President Trump gets RFK approved for health, Make America Healthy Again. And RFK is right about a lot of things and maybe not right about a lot of things, but that's okay because we'll air it in public and we'll debate it like a civilized culture, like a Western society, and we'll sort it out. But never mind that. When he's confirmed, and it looks like he will be confirmed, then we're looking at Linda McMahon for the Department of Education, and it looks like she's on track to be confirmed. And then Kash Patel for the FBI, which is not a cabinet position, but President Trump is going to get pretty much all of his nominees confirmed, with the exception of one former Florida congressman who was in line to be FBI director as well. But we'll get into that today because there's a lot to talk about there, isn't there? Yes, there is. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, and the fake journalists at NBC Fake News with their headline, Trump education pick Linda McMahon to face Senate grilling. Grilling, they're going to press her face against a grill because they're very hostile. They're very, very hostile, and they try to undermine the proper function of our government. And there's a hearing today on Capitol Hill on the U.S. Agency for International Development, which has been funding all these drag shows all over the world and not feeding anybody except their illnesses. They're feeding their illnesses, paying for, what do they got where is it, Guatemala? They're paying for drag shows for Venezuelan migrants to Guatemala. Let me correct that. They're not paying for it. We are paying for it because they're stealing our money and corruptly abusing it to pander to their, I think their significant others. I want to know, and this is a question I want to know. Members of Congress should ask this question, as a matter of fact. I want to know how many members, how many employees of USAID have participated in these drag shows. Because you know that a bunch of them have to have participated in these drag shows. You don't have an agency, U.S. Agency for International Development, paying for all this sexual freakiness all over the world if the employees themselves are not personally invested in drag shows in Guatemala for Venezuelan escapees. Just saying. Oh, by the way, the big international security conference is going on in Munich, and a Muslim man ran over a whole bunch of people with a car and murdered them just a matter of a few hours ago in the name of Islam. And that's because, that's an issue facing the planet Earth. It's a civilizational issue. But pay no attention to that because God knows the Democrats won't. Amazing stuff. Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, and it's a good question. Will the turtle vote for RFK? Because the turtle, Mitch McConnell, former Republican leader in the Senate, voted against Tulsi Gabbard, another former Democrat, by the way, that fled the party. How many are fleeing the party? Lots and lots are fleeing the party. But we'll see about that because President Trump is making great progress on Capitol Hill and every place else all over the world. He talked to Putin yesterday for more than an hour. I think the Kremlin said for an hour and a half. And then he talked to, President Trump did, to Volodymyr Zelensky of Ukraine, which funneled millions of dollars to the Biden family. And the New York Times is fine with that because they have the ethics of gangsters at the New York Times. But President Trump on the phone, you know what he's working on? Ending the war in Europe. What did Joe Biden do about that? He sent ammo. He goes, hey, send more ammo. Said we got to kill more, send more. And Joe Biden, Mr. Military Industrial Complex. Remember when Joe Biden was being resold to the American people when he was running for president and they told us he was a foreign policy expert? And Joe Biden told us he was a foreign policy expert. They lie about absolutely everything. He may not even be a man. He may not be an actual human being, but foreign policy expert, and he's known every foreign leader since Kublai Khan. He knows them personally. He knows everybody. Honestly, it goes back to the Hanging Gardens of Babylon that Joe Biden knew all the world leaders. And that did so much good that war broke out in Europe and war broke out in the Middle East, and they're still going on right now. The jihadis and the commies, and that's what we're talking about here. The two greatest threats to civilization, the commies, the left, are a bigger threat than the Islamists are. They're more murderous than the Islamists are. And the Democrat Party's in bed with both of them, as a matter of fact, funding Iran behind the funding of Hamas and the Palestinian Islamic Jihad and Hezbollah and Lebanon and the Houthis and Yemen. Iran behind all of it, and Iran has taken it. What Joe Biden gave Iran $6 billion in exchange for 5 hostages they were holding. President Trump has a very different approach. It's a much more civilizational approach, and it may involve having to kill a bunch of these threats to humanity in the Islamist world and in the commie world, too. Commies everywhere. And we got commies in the United States, too. But as the Islamists, I got to say, this is kind of a problem with the radical Islamists and Joe Biden and the Democrats, because, boy, they're just not up to the task, are they? No, they're not. Not by a long shot. Yeah, so Islamists in Munich. I actually went to one of these security conferences many years ago, the Munich Security Conference, back when I was assigned to the Pentagon and covering the U.S. military and the intelligence community. I went in the 1990s to one of these Munich Verkunda Conference. And today, they're with this conference going on, largely NATO-oriented, right? Driver in suspected car ramming attack in Munich was Afghan asylum seeker, officials said. So it's Joe Biden's fault because of his botched deal in Afghanistan, and then the troglodytes from hell fleeing Afghanistan to get out of that beephole end up everywhere, poisoning the world. Here, hey, Munich. Munich's nice. I think I'll get a car and kill a bunch of people with it because, Allah is indeed quite Akbar, is he not? How Akbar can one Allah be? Amazing stuff. Yes, sir. And who's the BBC is reporting on that. People ran into my shop after attack, woman tells BBC. And it turns out the guy is BBC reporting on it, is an Afghan asylum seeker. Democrats love asylum seekers from hell. They're here to kill the world, and the Democrats wave them in and give them donuts because there's something wrong with their brains. They're not liberals. They're the left. So half dozen people came running into a shop run by this woman in Munich. They looked panicked, and some were crying. Well, that makes sense. Never expected something like this to happen while you're at work. Yet usually you're at home when these things happen. You just want to come in, do your job, and go home. Yeah, thanks, the shop owner says. Very upsetting. I'm struggling to think about anything else. That seems appropriate, since there was a massive radical Islamic jihadi terrorist attack outside your front door just a few minutes ago. Of course, this is not the first time something like this has happened in Germany or pretty much every other country on the planet. But that's a political question, she said. Yeah, it is. That's true. J.D. Vance is in Munich, our vice president of the United States, and an actual war veteran, unlike so many, like Tim Walz, for example, who was Kamala Harris's running mate. So we got that going on in Munich at the Munich Security Conference. Fun thing. I flew over there for that security conference I went to on one of the old Air Force Ones, on Ronald Reagan's Air Force One. Tail number 27,000. It's the plane that's in the Reagan Library now in Simi Valley. Got to fly that to Germany. I wasn't the pilot, I was just a passenger. But very nice, very, very nice. So we got that going. Also because Michael Piercy failed We didn't get to the mailbag questions yesterday, and I have the mailbag questions in front of me now. I'll see if we can keep from failing today. Right, Michael? That's right. He says, yeah, maybe not. We'll have to see. So just scratching the surface, a few things we have in front of us today. And things will be developing while we're on the air, of course, because it's a 3-hour radio show. You know, when the professor and Marianne got on the SS Minnow, that was supposed to be a 3-hour tour. But we do that every day. Also, Trump, a judge lifts freeze on Trump buyout plan for federal workers. I call them employees. After 75,000 government employees have taken the buyout. I took a buyout once. A buyout can be a good thing. And we're at 888-630-9625. Chris here with a list of things that none of us should trust. The Washington Post, the New York Times, anything on CNN. Here's a list of things that I do trust. The Washington Times. Support real journalism for just $1 a week at washingtontimes.com/Chris. Rebel. Your face is a mess. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Jeff, calling from Milton, the Toaster, Delaware. Jeff, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Great lead-in music, Chris. I love it, buddy. I tore my dress over that one. All right. So this new hit tune that's floating around with the how's it go? Which side are you on, or whatever it is? Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So I'm having a hard time. You got to help me out here, bro. Is the artist Joan Baez and the Billy Jack Singers, or is it misinformation and the disinformation? Because it could be both.
It's a great song. They stole it from the 1950s, from the Civil Rights Movement, when the Democrats had to be moved out of schoolhouse doors where they were keeping black students from arriving and being educated. All the Democrats, from Little Rock, Arkansas, to Georgia, all the Democrats. It is. Yeah, we're going to play it again for you. Should we play it again for you, Jeff?
Well, here's the deal. Now, down here, ironically, 105.9 is the talk conservative radio down here. These three guys in the afternoon. Maybe I better not mention them, but I want to step on your toes. So the one guy said that song is waterboarding for the ears, which I found to be quite.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. So, you want me to get off the air and play it again? I got my dress back together, so let's dance.
Excellent. I don't want to have. I assume your dress was stolen from an airport carousel, women's luggage. As Democrats do a lot of that. They steal a lot of women's luggage and then dress up at home. We are back. Yeah, the Democrats trying to sing like it's all civil rights time, forgetting that it was Democrat Governor Orville Faubus standing in the schoolhouse door at Central High in Little Rock, Arkansas in 1957 when Republican President Dwight Eisenhower, a great military hero of World War II, had to send the 101st Airborne in to move the corpulent Democrat governor out of the front door. And Democrat Governor George Wallace standing in the schoolhouse door in Alabama. And then, of course, a Democrat presidential campaign volunteer, James Earl Ray, that went and shot Martin Luther King and killed him in Memphis. The Democrat Party that came up with Jim Crow laws everywhere. When they sing "We Shall Overcome," what they had to overcome was the Democrat Party. But yesterday they were out there. They're such an embarrassment. The Democrat Party, really a disgrace to the idea of Democrat parties everywhere. Womp womp womp. And what are they? What are they anti there? Oh, they're anti getting government spending under control. That's for sure. They're anti, defunding tranny shows all over the world because I can't speak to the specifics, but I think that they participate in them whenever they can because they're a little hinky when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And the crazy Democrats, they've got a lot of crazy members of Congress. And Adam Schiff is among them, and they've got crazy Democrat Delaware Senator Chris Murphy. We've got him today. And I can't believe, well, I guess I can't believe it. California made Adam Schiff senator after he lied his way through years in the House of Representatives. The biggest liar in Washington. They're like, hey, what biggest liar in Washington? I'll vote for that. He should definitely be promoted. Womp, womp, womp. They are nuts. And Elon Musk comes along, and they finally found a billionaire they hate. They loved this billionaire, Elon Musk, while he was giving lots of money to Democrats just a couple of years ago. Then it was fine. But billionaire Jack Dorsey owned Twitter, and he was in cahoots with he conspired with the Biden administration and the FBI to corrupt everything, and the presidential election and Twitter and politics and what we call journalism, laughingly, in the United States of America, and all that good stuff. But these billionaires, how many billionaires? Mark Zuckerberg, another left-wing billionaire forever and ever who was corrupting the presidential election on behalf of the Democrat Party. Now he's shaking his head a little bit. And, what am I seeing here? But he's not all better yet. Now, let's go to some of these crazy Democrats from yesterday. We were just talking to our friend from Delaware, Jeff, and he was talking about that song. You have that song from yesterday, Michael? It's a fake civil rights. It has all, the cadence and the characteristics of a civil rights song. And the Democrat Party, of course, in the 1950s and 1960s, they were still trying to shake off their history as being the Confederate States of America. And then after that, they created the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. I interviewed Senator Robert Byrd long ago on television, and he was a squinty-eyed, scary Klansman. Just looking at him sitting there in a pinstripe suit in the Senate, you could kind of see his squinty eyes peeking through the openings in his white hood because Democrats, they love that stuff. They're not good at much, but remarkable stuff. All right, so let's go to this ridiculous song that these ridiculous people were singing. They've got a lot of radicals, but this fake civil rights song, and then they talk about jailing their political enemies like the commie fascists that they are. And that'd be Donald Trump, of course, who they've demonstrated they're hell-bent on getting him shot or jailed because these people are the left. This is the left, my friends. But here's their ridiculous song that they stole from the civil rights movement. And if we had a news media, they would tell you all the things that I've just told you because, as I like to say, they have no sense of irony. No sense of irony whatsoever, these people. And here's their ridiculous song.
Oh, which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Free speech.
Tell me which side
hey now.
are you on?
They brought out the
Which
bullwhip
side
for this one.
are you on?
Hey
We'll
now.
fight against George. We'll
Get next to that tree over there.
Elon Musk. No Elon's kept within our walls. We'll fight from dawn to dusk.
They'll fight from dawn to dusk.
Which side are you on? Which
I'm on
side
our
are
side.
you
I'm on America's
on?
side.
Which
Capitalism.
side are you on? Which side are you on?
I think it's a nice touch to bring the bullwhip along, don't you?
He wants us all to fail.
Pretty amazing stuff.
He wants us to bow to him, but we want him in jail.
In jail, just like communists everywhere.
Are you on?
That's what they do.
Which side are you on?
It's getting attention all over the world, this ridiculous moment, which is what these frou-frous look for, right? The Daily Mail out of the United Kingdom, folks online mock the songs at rally for Dems and union workers. They're workers in the union. Democrats are mercilessly mocked for out-of-tune sing-along to protest Trump and Doge. They're protesting against government efficiency. You know, they never protested against a department. So, so that you can cut off. It's government efficiency they're against. And the headline in the Daily Mail, quote, "A pain to my ears." A Save Civil Service rally held in Washington was attended by union workers. And they were bussed in. The usual commies always bust people in. They usually get a free T-shirt and a box lunch and sometimes a cash stipend, too. But it was attended by union workers, activists, and politicians. The last song they sang, "Which Side Are You On?" Folks online were quick to mock. And that is entirely appropriate because it's entirely mockable. And they, because of information dominance, the information dominance that the left has secured by way of corrupting the news media and academia, they've erased their own history of racism, which is the entire Democrat Party history, just by the way. When did the Democrat Party really come into existence, and was Jefferson Davis really their first president? A group of Democrat protesters were roundly mocked after performing an agonizing sing-along to demonstrate against Elon Musk, an African-American immigrant to the United States, and Doge cuts to the government. They want government to be bigger, not smaller. More government employees means more Democrat voters, and then they lord it over them for the rest of their lives. Activists at a Save the Civil Service rally hosted by the American Federation of Government Employees, again, a union that even Franklin Delano Roosevelt was against creating, gave an excruciating rendition of classic protest song, "Which Side Are You On?" The group adapted the lyrics from the song, popularized during World War II, to pointed lyrics about the Tesla billionaire and his department's blitzkrieg through D.C. They want to jail everybody. And, you know, when it sounds like it's rhetoric, except how many people, Peter Navarro and George Papadopoulos, and they tried to put Donald Trump in prison for more than 100 years. These people are more like commies than they are like John F. Kennedy. As I've said many times because it's true, they're closer, today's Democrats on the political spectrum, to Lee Harvey Oswald than they are to John F. Kennedy.
He wants us to bow to him, but we want him in jail.
Right. That's the pretty amazing stuff. Yeah. We'll fight against Doge. We'll fight Elon Musk. We'll fight from dawn to dusk. The bunch of mental illness poster children were chanting ineptly. Trump's coming for our unions. No, he's not. Well, the government, they just want to grow the government, and because that's what commies do. They want everybody to work for the government in the end. Kill capitalism, kill everything. Look, that's why we're, in large part, $36 trillion in debt. He wants us all to fail. He wants us all to bow to him, but we want him in jail. Sieg Heil, minus Shotzi, you little fascists. What totalitarian beatniks they are. Pretty amazing stuff. A ridiculous political party called the Democrat Party. Oh, speaking of which, let's go to the idiots. That is to say, Democrat members of Congress. Yesterday on Capitol Hill, there was a hearing on U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, and Jasmine Crockett, a radical extremist leftist from Texas, was in the hearing embarrassing herself as usual.
You talk about people invading our data. Listen, people said that they were upset about TikTok, but I'm upset about the guy that runs Twitter, who for sure is doing nefarious things. So let me tell you something.
The gentlelady's time has expired.
It's time for
the
us
gentlelady's
to do our
time
job
has expired.
and rein in this rogue actor known
the gentlelady's
as
time has expired.
I want her in jail. She interrupted the chair of the committee. She should probably be in jail, don't you think? We should write a song about putting them all in jail. It'd be better than that one. The Democrat Party. And invading our data. How do you invade data? This is the government. This is the White House saying, let's look at where our money's going. And these people will blow themselves up with suicide vests to stop, like, the smartest man on the planet Earth, Elon Musk, and some of his agents, his minions, to take a look at where our money's going. And these mental cases invade our data. You are aware that there are, like 2.5 million federal government employees. How many of them have access to your sacred data? They keep yelling about their Social Security numbers, like these young guys who already have millions of dollars and own companies that they created are interested in your stinking Social Security number. What do you think they're going to do with it? Maybe you should be concerned about the 10 million illegal aliens in the United States that are stealing Social Security numbers that are being sold all over the place by the gangs that you welcome into the country. Maybe you should be more concerned about the millions and millions of illegal aliens and the gangs and the child sex traffickers and the drug traffickers stealing Social Security numbers rather than 5 guys working for Elon Musk who are wealthier at the age of 21 than you will be in your entire life and your family for generations to come. I don't think they're interested in your Social Security number. But thanks for your concern, honestly. Invading our data. And she's not worried about TikTok, which is run by the Communist Party of China, and collecting data and your damn Social Security number all over the place. No, she's worried about the owner of X, formerly known as Twitter. You got to tell her that every time because she's not very bright. Aren't they amazing? That's Jasmine Crockett. Then they've got a Democrat woman member of Congress. Amazingly, the idiots that the Democrats send to Congress are an insult to democracies all over the world. Melanie Stansbury. Sounds like a very patriarchal last name, doesn't it? Stansbury. Probably Mayflower type, something like that. Melanie Stansbury, she's a radical left-wing extremist from Minnesota. Minnesota has become an embarrassment to our union as well. They send all kinds of crazy people to, well, everywhere. Politics. They sent us Tim Walz. Remember the Iraq war hero? That guy. Remember the video of him trying to load a shotgun? That was a lot of fun. Wah, wah, wah. Here's Democrat Melanie Stansbury at this hearing yesterday. We need to keep funding USAID because it's a slush fund for transgender parties all over the world. And they love their monkeypox parties. They call them monkeypox parties at USAID because they love monkeypox. They do. Melanie Stansbury.
We can't just sit here today and pretend like everything is normal and that this is
true.
Just another hearing on government efficiency.
That's true.
I mean, all you have to do is look across this room and see that it is not a normal hearing.
You're right about
because
that.
while we're sitting here, Donald Trump and Elon Musk are recklessly and illegally dismantling the federal government.
Illegally, jail.
Shuttering federal agencies, firing federal workers, withholding funds vital to the safety and well-being of our communities, and hacking our sensitive data systems.
They're hacking our sensitive data systems. They are the federal government. You do realize this, don't you? You pea-brain. Melanie Stansbury. Yeah, they're invading. They're attacking our sacred. It's the White House. It's the executive branch of the United States government. They own the Treasury Department. It's inside the White House fence line on the White House compound. The entire Treasury Department is right there. It's a big building with columns. Then this really radical lunatic, Robert Garcia, a Democrat from California, who brought a prepared, very expensive, well-made, poster board-sized photographs of Elon Musk in white tie and tails because he's a billionaire, you know.
Now, I find it ironic, of course, that our chairwoman, Congresswoman Green, is in charge of running this committee. Now, in the last Congress, Chairwoman Green literally showed pic in our oversight congressional hearing. So I thought I'd bring one as well. Now, this, of course, we know is President Elon Musk.
Oh, that's clever.
He's also the world's richest man.
Wow.
He was the biggest
clever.
political donor in the last election.
To Democrats?
He has billions of dollars in conflicts of interest. And we know that he is leading a power grab, also abided by and encouraged by Donald Trump and, of course, the chairwoman, Congresswoman Green.
Now, one of the ironies, and again, they have no sense of irony, and this guy's a radical, and he's, they're putting people's lives in danger. I don't know how many people they have to get shot. Congressman Steve Scalise and Donald Trump have both been shot by Democrats. And the filthy left, they just keep inciting more violence from their own lunatic fringe, which is pretty much the mainstream now. But they're yelling, yeah, Elon Musk last year, I got this soundbite for you too. Elon Musk last year got billions of dollars in contracts from the government. I mean, when Joe Biden was president, is that, and what were Democrats in charge of on Capitol Hill? You mean the Democrats gave Elon Musk billions of dollars in government contracts, and now the Democrats are complaining about what they themselves did? That's the question. The answer is yes.
We've got to protect our phony baloney job, gentlemen. We must do something about this immediately. Immediately. Harumph, 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 harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy. Give the governor harumph. Harumph.
Texas, the state of Texas should be embarrassed. They sent a guy to Washington named Greg Kassar. He was getting all angry in the hearing yesterday, complaining that the Biden administration gave Elon Musk billions of dollars.
I'll ask you, Mr. Talco, do you know how much money a day Mr. Musk will receive from the federal government for his contracts?
How much?
No. The answer is $8 million a day. Just last year, Elon Musk was promised $3 billion from close to 100 contracts with the federal government.
You mean when Joe Biden was president and the Democrats were in charge of the Senate, and now you're angry about it because of your tiny little brain. Let's grab a quick phone call. Let's go to Ron, calling from our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. Ronaldo, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
And thanks for keeping us informed.
You betcha. Wouldn't have it any other way.
My biggest problem is, why do Democrats get to manipulate the law to their own ends, such as, for instance, New York? There was a crime that Donald Trump has been convicted for, which was past the statute of limitations, but yet for some strange reason, they still prosecuted this guy for something that's not a felony, not a crime, and not really truly, should I say, convinced me that he was guilty of.
Right. Yeah, 34 felonies.
Why was it not publicized like the OJ trial or something like that?
Well, I got to say, Ron, you ask great questions. The Democrats in Albany, New York, changed the law on statutes of limitations just to prosecute Trump. Then they changed the law back.